Multi-species grasslands, also sometimes referred to as species-rich grasslands or diverse grasslands, are simply grasslands made up of lots of different species, primarily comprised of legumes, herbs, as well as typical grasses. This diversity, this variation in plant form, offers certain production benefits. We know that there is a positive link, for instance, between biomass production and diversity. This has been demonstrated both in the natural world and in agricultural scenarios. So by virtue of increasing the species content of our grasslands, we could increase the amount of biomass that we produce. There are other benefits for multi-species grassland as well. We know that there is a lot of extra carbon in the soil underneath diverse grasslands. This is both because we use less fertiliser, which is also another benefit because it means less money for the farmer, but also less disturbance to the soil because the lays are potentially more stable in the long term and are less susceptible to weed invasion. By virtue of this factor of having more carbon underneath the soil, potentially as we move to a scenario, say post-Brexit, where we start valuing ecosystem services such as carbon storage potential, there is the possibility that shifting towards multi-species lays could mean another revenue stream for the farmer. So what is it that allows diverse grasslands to offer all of these production benefits? Well, there are a few factors all operating together. First and foremost, what you have is complementarity of plant species. So by virtue of having lots of different species represented in the sward, instead of just having one singular type plant and with a singular root depth potential, you have lots of root depth potentials, and this diversity means that you're accessing nutrients from different parts of the soil profile and within the ecosystem as a whole. You also have above ground complementarity, so plants can live together which can tolerate shade, so they could live in the understory of other plants or have denser foliage as a whole. It works out overall that you have greater biomass above ground. There are also greater multitrophic interactions, such as larger amounts of pollinators present, which means greater pollination services or pest control services from other predatory invertebrates that control pest species. You have greater diversity of soil organisms underneath the ground, which means greater amounts of nutrient cycling, which means obviously that there's greater growth potential. The benefits that can be offered from having lots of plants represented is stability in the ecosystem. A single sward, a single monoculture, could be very, very susceptible to pests or pathogens. Diversity may make it more stable and means there's more resources for other species within the ecosystem and greater function and stability within the ecosystem as a whole. This offers us a really nice stable platform for production, which could mean that we have greater opportunities in agriculture in a period of what will be considerable environmental change.